In one of the most recent debates, John McCain felt the need to declare that he was not President Bush. There's that old expression, he doth protest too loudly. He may not be George Bush, but my mother, when I was a kid, and you've heard me say this before, but when I was a kid, you want to go hang out in the corner, and the guys your mother didn't want you to hang out with, I said, well, Mom, I know those guys are going to do, but I'm not like that. She said, honey, if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, it's a duck. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in these last 3 debates, it looked like a duck to me, folks. After 23 months of campaigning, 8 years of failed economic policy, there's not one fundamental economic issue on which John McCain has challenged the policies of George Bush. He always turns to Barack and says, when have you challenged your party? And Barack has. I turn to John and say, John, when have you challenged President Bush on any major economic initiative? Tell me, when? Ladies and gentlemen, he voted for 4 out of 5 of George. I like it, man. Don't jump. I need you. Folks, 4 out of 5 of Bush's budgets he voted for. 4 out of 5. He voted with President Bush 90% of the time. Look, as one recent newspaper article, editorial just wrote 4 days ago, and it's the best way to sum it up. I'm going to read it. He said, it's a shame that Mr. McCain hasn't come up with policies that would actually help American workers. Instead, he served up the same old trickle-down theories and government is wrong and markets are always right fervor that has helped create this economic crisis. I couldn't have said it better, folks. That's exactly what he's done. And I love John. Governor, I love John talking about, well, Barack Obama wants to redistribute income. Let me talk about redistribution, ladies and gentlemen. The fact of the matter is the biggest redistribution of wealth has taken place under George Bush. Wall Street Journal, not Joe Biden, points out, not since 1921 has this existed. Right now, the top 1% of the American people make over 22% of all the income in America. 1%. The bottom 50, they make less than 13%. Ladies and gentlemen, that's redistribution the wrong way. Let's set the record straight. Let's help the middle class. Now look, I got a woman on my staff who handles policy. She is actually a blood relative, a member of the Maverick family, that Texas family, okay? Y'all know about Mavericks down here. You got real Mavericks, okay? Well, John and Governor Palin like to refer to themselves as Mavericks. Well, a good friend of Jeff Bingaman and mine is a new senator from Pennsylvania. His name is Casey. He's from my hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania. I'm going to paraphrase Casey. Casey said, you can't be a Maverick when all you've been the last 8 years is a sidekick. So much for the Mavericks. Give me a break.